Good morning, everyone. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And today is a special show. We have folks that want to come in and tell their story on our show today. So we're just waiting for some of those people to show up. If you have a P.I.L.L Method story, go ahead and raise your hand and come to the stage. All right. But first of all, what we're going to do is show what we've done in the past until some of those folks can get in here, because like I said, they're going to work, and we got some folks that are getting kids off to school. All sorts of things are happening today. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put some things on the screen right now. We're going to show let's put that on the screen. Kurt, let's go ahead and get that up. And we're going to show some things that have been done in the past. Here's one not too long ago. It is a 30-year mortgage. All right, 30-year mortgage at $204,000. You want to be able to see this. So go to YouTube. Make sure when you get on YouTube, please subscribe to YouTube for me. All right. Please subscribe to YouTube and you'll be able to see this. Here's one success story. $204,000 in debt. Here's a mortgage. And now I want you to see this. Here's the interest rate. It was at that time 4%. And in the first 60 months, that's 5 years, this person would have paid this mortgage down by $18,657.20. Yep, that's how much principal they would have paid down, but it would have cost $37,000 in interest. Now, how in the world is that 4% interest? If you pay back $18,000 and you pay back $37,000 in interest just in the first 5 years, all right? So here's what we told them. That's a total of $56,000 you would have paid out in the first 5 years, all right? But only $18,675 would have gone to you. Now, here's how much interest the bank wants total on your mortgage at 4%. $143,000. Folks, that is actually 71.87% of what this person would borrow if they paid back all $143,000. We're going to show them how to take control of this loan. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead, and they're going to take control of the loan, and we're going to let's see. By doing that, they can pay off their loan in only 7.5 years. By not paying $143,000 in interest, they're only going to pay out $41,000. Now, here's the thing. Here's what's crazy. The bank wanted $37,000 in interest in the first 5 years. They're going to pay out only $41,000 in 7.5 years to pay off the whole thing, $204,000. They're going to pay it all in 7.5 years. That's one success story. Let's take a look at another one while we're waiting for our people to show up. They will be coming in directly to tell their story. All right. So let me go ahead and start inviting them in to make sure that they're here on time. All right. Hold on. Let me see here. Let's see here. Let me see here. Let me get them in, start so that they can start telling their story. All right. Good. All right. So here's another one. Here's another story. Total amount, $156,000 in debt. $156,000 in debt, and paying this off by not paying $112,000 in interest. Nuh-uh. Not $112,477.46, but only $28,000 they're going to pay out and pay off this whole thing in 6.7 years. 6.7 years instead of 30. My goodness. Look at that. All right. Let me see here. Let me see if I get somebody in here so that they can tell their story directly. All right. We're just waiting for a few people to show up. All right. Let me see here. Let's see here. There we go. And there we go. All right, just sent a message out. So we're going to get some folks in here. All right. So that is another story. Now, here's what's crazy. In the first 5 years on this mortgage, the bank wanted them to pay $29,879.48. That's just in the first 5 years. But they're going to pay less interest. They're going to pay out less money to manage this loan. All right. To pay the whole thing off. The bank wanted them to pay $29,000 in interest just to pay off $14,900. $29,000 in interest to pay off $14,900. Okay? That's what the bank wanted them to do. But here where we have $112,000 that the bank wanted in interest, but instead of paying the bank $29,000 in the first 5 years just to pay off 14 grand, guess what? They're only going to pay out 28,000 to pay off the whole 156,000 in 6.7 years. All right. Here's another one. Here, okay. In 14 months. Now, I actually got this person. We didn't get them at the beginning of the loan. They came on board after they've been on their mortgage for 14 months, and they paid their loan down by $3,800. And they already have paid out $10,000 in interest. So we pointed out how much interest they will pay. Listen, if you are online and you have a success story, maybe you're at work, go ahead and put it in the comment section. If you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're watching us on Facebook, go ahead and say something this morning that you have a success story, and go ahead and you can start typing it in while I'm talking here. All right. So now in the first 5 years, they would have paid out a total of $41,000 in interest. Now that's a lot of money just going up in smoke to interest. And here's what we told them. How about not paying $161,000 in interest from this day forward, $161,892 to pay off the $237,000 that you owe in 28.8 years. How about paying out only $70,000, pay off the $237,000 that you owe in 10.3 years? That is what we're talking about. So folks, if you are in the building, all right, if you are watching us online, go ahead, start typing your success story while we wait for some of our other people to come up who are at work. All right. And Ann says, I have a successful story. I'm finally understanding the P.I.L.L method. Ann, thank you so very much for being here this morning. She has a success story. And thank you so much. She says, I have a success story. I'm finally understanding the P.I.L.L method. And I appreciate you. If you have anything else to say, go ahead and say it. If you can come on Clubhouse, go ahead and download Clubhouse. All right. Let me put the link to Clubhouse here for everybody who's watching us online. If you have a story, let me go ahead and put a link to this room, all right, so that you can come in. All right, let me see. Public room, anyone can join. Let me see here. How do I get the link to this room? Oh yeah, here it is. Share the room. All right. So we're gonna get a copy of it. Boom. And put it in. I'm putting it in the comment section. Okay. All right. All right. I didn't want that. All right. Something happened here. Back on the show. All right. I hit a button that I didn't want to hit. So let me get out of this and close this up. There we go. I'm back. All right. So I wanted to put, there we go. I wanted to put this link in share the room. All right. Copy the link and paste it in. Oh, I can't copy. It won't let me copy and paste it. Huh. All right. Let me see here. I want folks who are online go to Clubhouse, download Clubhouse from your app store because for some reason I can't get the link. Let me try another link. Let me try another one. All right. Let me try another link. Let's see if we can put that in so you can get on Clubhouse this morning. All right. And let's see. Let me go here, get this, and P.I.L.L method house. So you guys can come on in and join the room this morning. And you could talk on Clubhouse. All right. Let's see here. Nope, that's not it. I can't find a link to share with you guys. I'm sorry, but go to your wherever your apps live. All right, on your phone, find Clubhouse, download Clubhouse, and then look for P.I.L.L method. All right, and then come on in, and you'll be able to share verbally your success story. All right, so we're just waiting for some other people to come in so that they can share their story. But in the meantime, here is a commercial borrower who has two commercial buildings. All right. And the total mortgage they have on both buildings at this point is $2,236. $2,236,376. Okay. And the bank wants them to take how long to pay that off? A total of 21.9 years. They want a total interest cost of $1,123,000 on this loan. Okay. And they're going to pay only $231,000. So they can save $891,000 in interest. $891,000. So they can pay off all of that in 4.9 years. Can you imagine? 4.9. All right. And only 231,000 instead of the 1,123,000 that the bank wanted. Here's another one I just heard about not too long ago. $200,000 at 18%. Here's a real estate investor that borrowed $200,000 at 18%. Okay. And so this is what we're talking about. Let's see if we can get, let's talk about that this morning. And $200,000 at 18%, take them 30 years to pay it off, and $884,000 in interest. Almost, listen, that's almost $1 million. $884,000 interest on a $200,000 loan. we're showing them how to pay only $172,000, saving over $700,000 in interest and paying that thing off in 7.8 years. Wow. So go ahead, and if you're watching us on YouTube, if you have a success story, go ahead and put that in right now. Let me see if I can get some other folks in here. All right. All right, good. So I'm inviting some other folks in so that they can tell their story. All right. All right. Let me see here. We've got another story here. We will put that up. Now, in the meantime, while we're waiting for some people to tell their story, if you have a question about what we do, go ahead and put it in the chat. Go ahead and put it in the comment section, or come to the stage, raise your hand, and ask your question. I'll be glad to handle your question while we're waiting for some people to show up. Like I said, they're getting kids off to school, and they have work obligations. I know this is an early morning show, but they will be here. All right. So let's go ahead and let me see here. All right. Let me see here. Copy. All right, let me see. All right, there we go. Oh, okay. So instead of four on this one, here's another $683,000. No, $851,000 in total debt. That's a mortgage and 7 other loans plus a bunch of credit cards, totaling $851,000. Okay, 851,000. The bank wanted $441,000 in interest on that. Do you know, if you add up how much debt they had plus the interest, by the time they would have paid that back, it would have been a total of $1,292,000. That's what makes this thing so expensive. All of that interest that you don't have to pay. And in this case, instead of paying $441,000 in interest, they're only going to pay $161,330 in interest, and pay let's see, saving $280,000. And instead of paying off in 28.5 years, 9.8 years, taking that money that they would have paid to the bank, and in just about 18 years, taking that money, instead of giving it to the bank, turned it into $2.1 million for themselves, even if they invested it at 1% return on their money. Folks, that's more money gained in interest than they've ever paid in interest in their entire lives. They're going to make more money in interest using the bank's money than they've ever paid in their entire lives. So listen, folks, if you have a P.I.L.L method story, come on Clubhouse and tell your story right now. All right? Come on Clubhouse and tell your story right now. Let me see how I can share. Oh, this is how I could do it. Share on Clubhouse. All right. Copy the room link right here. All right. And if you have a story, come in. Let me put this in. There it is. Boom. So now I'm putting the room link in the chat, so you can click on that and come into Clubhouse and tell your story. If you have a story, come up to the stage, raise your hand, and we will bring you up. All right. Let me see here. We want to get some other folks in here to tell their story. All right. And let's see here. Let me see here. Let me invite a few more people in. We got that. There we are. All right. So we got Randy in, we got Alma in, we got Cheryl in. All right, folks, we're just waiting for some folks to get their kids off to school and take care of their work obligations so that they can come into the room and share their story. All right. If you have a question about the P.I.L.L method this morning, while we're waiting for them to come in, go ahead and ask your question now. You can raise your hand and ask a question, or you can put it in the chat. All right. Raise your hand, come up to the stage and talk, or put it in the chat if you have a question about the P.I.L.L method right now. Okay. So let me go ahead and remind some people that they said they were going to be here. And let's see where we're going to go. Here, there, and there it is. All right. So we need to get some folks in here and to talk about the P.I.L.L method today, tell their story. All right. So, all right. Do you have any questions? Any comments? Start inviting some folks in. Let's go over the basics of how these people are able to do all of this. I'm going to put it on the screen, the basics of how they are able to to do all of this while we're waiting for some people to come in. All right. So let's put this on the screen. All right. We're going to put Brett Whistle on the screen here. All right. So what kind of mortgage do you want me to put in? Put it in the chat. How much do you want me to put in here? As far as a mortgage is concerned, how large of a mortgage, and give me an interest rate. How much of a mortgage and how much of an interest rate? You give me the numbers, I'll put it in, and I'll tell you how people are doing this, not just in this country, but in several countries around the world, how they are saving all kinds of money on interest by taking control of their loans and not letting the bank control them. All right. Nobody has any numbers for me? You can type a number in the chat. How big of a loan do you want me to put in? I've got some ideas, but I want to get in here and put some things in. All right. All right. So we've got some folks. Oh, I got some folks coming in now that I got some messages back. Great. Fantastic. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So here is, I'm putting in $200,000 at 7%. All right, let me see here. All right, got Steve coming in. Invite Steve to speak. Good morning, Steve. How are you, sir? We got some other folks getting ready to come in.
All right, yourself?
I'm doing well, man. We got some folks who are getting their kids off to school, and they have success stories to tell But they said, Don, your show starts early. So I have to give them some time to get in here. All right. To tell their story. If you have a Pill Method success story, come to the stage, raise your hand, come to the stage, and you will be able to tell your story. All right. So we're just waiting on some folks to get in here so that they can do what they need to do and tell their story on Clubhouse. All right. Come to Clubhouse, tell your story. So now, in the meantime, you can go to this link up above so that you can. So somebody says, so somebody has a question about velocity banking. All right. And this is a person on that's watching us on YouTube. It says, "Good morning, Don. What do you think about velocity banking? I don't have a mortgage yet, so I'm not on the P.I.L.L method." All right. So here is what I think about velocity banking. Velocity banking works. It's just not precise. Velocity banking works, but it's not precise. So here's RL Chance. All right. So we're going to bring him up to the stage. All right. Come on up, RL. There he is. RL, how are you doing this morning? Hit that microphone in the lower right-hand corner. I see you're new to Clubhouse. All right. And invite.
Hey, morning. Can you hear me?
I can.
Awesome. This is my first time on Clubhouse, man.
Your first time on Clubhouse.
Yes, sir.
All right. So tell me, do you have a Clubhouse? Do you have a P.I.L.L method success story?
For sure. It's twofold in a sense. I first learned about you, of course, like most people do, when we were living in the Huntsville, Alabama area.
Mm-hmm.
And by this time, I had moved to Texas. And as a pastor, I'm a pastor. And so we had, of course, one of our churches, the McAllen All Nations Church, and we had a mortgage at that time. And then my mind just flew back to Don Daniel giving a presentation while we were there at Oakwood. And I called you up, sure thing. And we were able to, learn from you as far as the P.I.L.L method and so forth. And we use the strategies. Now, of course, we wish the church would go fully on board, but even just using the principles themselves. So we were able to get that church debt free in about 2 to 3 years. And so that's an awesome thing. Currently, right now, we could have been on our own journey too, but we are using the P.I.L.L method program right now. And I already got one home that we kind of sold that one, but even with another mortgage which I just got like 2 years ago, so we would have been debt free probably in the next 3 years.
Wow.
But adding a new mortgage, we actually are now 6. So that, and like I said, I just got in this mortgage just 2 years ago, and so still the program is showing that we'll be totally debt free in 6 years. Now that's including just one salary. Now, if we had 2 salaries, it would be 2.5 years.
Wow. So you're telling
So
me,
I know the
wait a
P.I.L.L
minute,
method works, man.
Can I ask you a question, Pastor?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So, pastors, do they make a lot of money?
And that's why we said it's based on just that one.
So on
but
your
still we can make progress, right? We can make progress.
so on your income alone, you're able to pay off a mortgage in how many years?
Right now it's showing 6 years,
6 years.
and
Wow.
that's including other stuff too. We have my wife. We have a student loan as well on there, and one vehicle, which pretty much can be paid off now. But again, like you're saying, that's one thing with the program. For me, using the old way, I'd be willing to go pay this one off first, and sometimes I even I'm amazed at the program because I'm like, man, if it were me, I probably would have paid this one thing off first, because it seems easier. But
Yes.
so the car note, for example, that could be paid off. It's only 2 point something percent interest rate on there. So it's like, well, nah, don't pay this one off first. Let's go pay this off over here first. So that's interesting there too.
Well, thank you so much for that. So, Pastor, so listen, could you hang out here for a minute? I have 10K here.
Sure thing, sure
All
thing.
right. So, 10K, how are you doing this morning, man?
Absolutely amazing, my brother.
Listen, man, listen, I know that right now you have some inside information on other people who have used the pill method, and you've heard some of these stories. And you've met me and my wife in person. What is your overall take on the pill method and what it's done for people?
All right, so first off, thank you so much for having me on the stage here, Don. For everyone in the audience, everyone that's listening, I've known Don and his wife for over 2 years now. And the value I see that they deliver to the marketplace is absolutely incredible. And I really do come in the clubhouse. I'm gonna be very honest with you guys for one simple reason. There's absolutely no reason someone like Don should be on Clubhouse delivering so much value, and the room is not packed of action takers. We can always make excuses. We can always make how do I put this thing now? Projections as to what we want in the future. But when you have the opportunity to come around individuals who's actually getting stuff done in real life, at some point you want to pull the trigger. I've been very privy to meet a lot of individuals that actually use the pill method and got success. The reason I have not used the pill method, I am a digital entrepreneur with over 6,000 websites. Don pill method can help me with the websites, but it can't help with a mortgage. But rest assured, when we start acquiring property, which is taking place from December of this year, Don is our guy. If there is a way for you to pay off less interest on your mortgage, less interest on your loans, why would you not want to do it? Let's keep it real, guys. Why would you not want to do it? It's just crazy. So, long story short, I would say any homeowners that's in the audience, anyone with a loan, anyone that's listening to this recording, make the best use of my time, the best use of Don Daniel's time. Look at the information. If it makes sense, which I'm pretty sure it will, take action on it. A lot of people have done it. A lot of people have gotten great results from it. And if that applies to you or someone you know, pull the trigger, guys, and start saving some money. It goes back to your family's income. Back to you, Don.
Thank you so very much. We have a couple of questions online on some people who are watching us on YouTube. And here's one from Cheryl Wyndham. She says, how do I get access to the calculators so that we can implement the pill method for ourselves and our family? Cheryl, here's how you do it. It's on the screen right now. You want to go to ice10k.com. That's ICE, which stands for Interest Cancellation Expert. ICE, the number 10, the letter K.com. Click on that. And then you'll see a button that says get a savings and earnings report. Everything starts there. With that savings and earnings report, which you can get for free, you can learn the month, day, and year you will be debt free on all of your debt, not just the mortgage, but everything that carries interest and how much interest you can save. Then once you enter into a consultation, you can then find out how you can implement and get access to our cloud-based AI computing system so that you can implement what you're seeing there on the page. Most of our clients get back that they're going to be out of debt within 7 to 9 years. Now, some people take a little bit more. Some people are a little bit less. But if you want to know how this works for you, everybody is an individual. This is not a one size fits all. And we're going to get into that with a few more questions to Pastor R.L. Chance. Pastor Chance, are you there?
Yes, I'm still there. Mm-hmm.
All right, great. So tell us now, when you have access to the opportunity cost calculator, which is online, correct?
That's correct.
All right, but is that all you get? Just the calculator?
No, no. if it were just the calculator, I mean, I'd be happy just with that. I mean, that's but no, we get coaching as well. I mean, I can call up and ask question, which is very valuable because that's like having a personal financial advisor. So there are times when I've like, listen, actually, even recently, I wanted to develop a particular software, and I was asking, hey, should I use my credit card or use a HELOC? And I was advised to go with the HELOC, and we actually just closed on a HELOC like 2 weeks ago. And so, those are the kind of things too that are beneficial when you can call and ask if you have questions about this, that, or something like that. So the coaching sessions I find to be icing on the cake, really and truly, because like I said, the software, I mean, it tells you when to do stuff, which bill, what order. I mean, that right there to me is dummy proof. I like it like that.
So now you're talking about the coaching session, but there's also customer service. Now that's offered 8 hours a day, 800 number, and
Yes,
it's US based.
correct.
Have you ever called the customer service number and got a recording during work hours?
No,
Somebody answers the
no.
phone.
I've always called them. Yes.
Listen, what do you think of now? Tell the folks what you think about the customer service.
Customer service is phenomenal. I mean, I call them for various things. Sometimes you may run into a snag too. So I know I've called them at least twice with the fact because I've gotten behind on logging into my stuff and keeping my numbers together. So I've called them before with that to be able to see how can I get myself caught up or adjusted to what's reflected in the bank versus what's on the program. And they always took care of it like the same day too. So that's an extra too.
Well, thank you very much for that. Listen, that's some good stuff. So, um, do you have any idea about how much interest you're going to be saving on your debt? Do you have any idea?
If I log in there, I can see it, but definitely thousands, man. You can almost buy, you can make more than a down payment on another house and probably, buy a decent size house with the interest that is being saved. So that too, and that's another thing. Actually, on the screen itself,
Yes.
it shows you exactly how much interest you will be saving. It tells you exactly when you will be debt free, how much interest you are going to be saving, like actual and so forth. And so that's another beautiful thing. It tells you also when is the next you know big payment coming up for that you're going to put on a particular debt. So everything is really really right there, and like I said, that's really one of the wonderful things I love. Plus another thing I love is that it actually recalculates, because like you're saying, there are times when we could have probably already been debt free, but then when you put on another bill or new debt, it just recalculates. Or let's say this month you were supposed to pay $500 extra on something, but you know what, hey, we got an extra $500 bill that came up, maybe the car blew out or something, whatever that is, then it just recalculates right there in real time. So that right there is really an awesome thing. So it's kind of, and then I get to also see like my finances kind of in one place too. So for us, that's easy when you're just trying to tell the family, okay, hey, this is where we are. They can all see it in real time. Budgeting. So that's like for those who like to do the budgeting. For me, honestly, even though we teach finances at the church, I never liked the regular way of budgeting that felt so restrictive. Is so I like the idea of a spending plan, but that's our budget. So, for my wife want to see, okay, how much do we have left in the grocery section? Well, you can open the P.I.L.L method calculator, and we can see this is exactly how much is left. So I don't have to go write it down somewhere or pull it up extra, or count what's in an envelope. I can just see it all right there on the screen. So it's on my phone as well. So if I'm out, I can pull it up as well on my phone. So all of those, man, are extra perks. And I'd like to say out there for those who are in the faith-based space too, because that's what I'm talking, because I'm a minister as well. So I really think a lot of churches, seriously, especially, we can there's no need for us to be carried around millions upon millions of dollars in debt year after year, when in fact especially churches with a consistent revenue stream, and not only that, but we in particular, banks love us because we have so much money sitting down, okay, sitting down in the bank account doing absolutely nothing. And it's like, especially if you're part of a denomination, it's kind of mandated that you keep it there even though it's not doing anything. And so I think, I think a lot of churches, the 7 to 9 year rule doesn't even apply. I think for most churches, if they will follow the P.I.L.L method and use the calculator, it's more like 1 to 2 years, 3 probably maximum, because most churches just have extra resources sitting there. And I think that, to carry around millions in debt, there's no need to do that when we have a system like this that can work. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much for that, Pastor. Listen, the average church actually takes 5 to 7 years to pay off the debt without, and I want to make sure we emphasize this, without extra giving from the members. At their current giving levels, they can pay off the entire church debt in an average of 5 to 7 years without pledge cards, without doing extra giving. What do you think about that?
That's an even extra thing. That's a blessing, because again, and that's because when we're paying off debt, that's one of the things you don't want to always be feeling like you're begging the members over and over for extra thing. They're already going above and beyond. So like you're saying, the resources are already there. There are many committees and departments that are absolutely not even doing anything, or they have funds that are sitting down there. It's just kind of like, okay, use, of course you have a pattern. You have to have some churches, depending on their financial accounting procedures, but at least for us it's a minimum. You have 3 months for every department, so it's not the overall church, but each department, you want to have a minimum of at least 3 months of reserves set aside. But when you look at some of the churches, like in our case, I just use our case, most of the times, because every year we ask for a budget for the entire year. So exactly what the department is going to spend within a year. And even if they went over, there's still a little extra room. So with that, it's like, okay, what about all this extra funds that is just going to be sitting there? Because obviously you don't plan to use any of this within the next coming year. So as you're saying, Don, is if you can leverage some of that to pay off your debt, and then we can take 2-3 months to put it back, because each time you pick up, as you say, the regular offerings, that money gets broken down and is also spread among the different departments: children, community service, outreach, evangelism, whatever. But it is sitting there. That's the thing. And we had we had, for example, I had to tell one of my treasurers, that I had a 2 church district, and I told him, stop telling us every month that this is what's in our what you may call it, high yield savings account, because we had multiple 6 figures in that thing, down. And trust me, you were not even getting $50 a month. And so he would come and get, and it was with one of these banks. I don't know if it was Wells Fargo or something, but it was like, they would give you $1. We would get $1 and something per month, right? And so it came out to be about $39 total a month. And they would take back fees from that 30 some bucks. So I said, Ella, let me tell you something, man. Please stop telling us this is a high yield savings account, because I cannot just see in my life how we can have multiple 6 figures in this account for this one thing, and we're not even making a good $100 on the thing. So
Wow.
that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about.
Thank you very much. Listen, Kurt Nugent, are you available at this point?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Now, Kurt is our engineer. All right. And you won't be able to see him because he's actually speaking through my avatar here on Clubhouse. But Kurt, can you tell us a little bit about your story this morning?
Absolutely.
Can you give us a little more volume?
Let me
Nope. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, is it coming in better now?
Comes in really good.
Okay. All right. But yeah, so as Don mentioned, I get to serve as your engineer for the live show every day, a couple times a week whenever he goes live. Um Don and I met in the barbershop. I don't know if he remembers this.
I remember.
We met in the barbershop and we were chatting it up. And actually, Don was integral in getting my wife into BNI, Business Network International. She has a web design firm. Actually, we actually continue to maintain the P.I.L.L Method website. So we were chatting with him about a number of different things. That was our first interaction, our first exposure to the P.I.L.L method. I will just be honest with some of you, even what you're thinking right now, which you don't want to say, you probably don't want to type. I thought, man, this is too good to be true. Quite literally, I said, it's just too good to be true. There's got to be something wrong. Everything that I had been taught over the course of my life in terms of finances, in terms of loans, we've had multiple houses. We lived abroad. We've had cars, credit cards, student loans. We've experienced loans. We thought we had experience with loans, and some of the things that Don was espousing, some of the things he was sharing, just in friendly conversation, because that's just how Don is. If you know Don, he's going to share with you some stuff. And I just said, man, what is this guy talking about? What is he talking about? And I remember it wasn't until we weren't quite ready at the time. Actually, we didn't even own a home at that time when we first met Don. But we did eventually buy a home here in Huntsville, and we started to talk with him at that point, and we ended up coming back and getting a savings and earnings report. So this was the real turning point, and this is why I'm so big on the savings and earnings report. We wanted to get the savings and earnings report. We just figured, you know what, this is in my opinion, a win-win scenario. Even if we don't go with the P.I.L.L method, let's get a savings and earnings report to see what our numbers look like in this system, because that's the thing I want to stress. I think Pastor shared this. I think 10K shared this as well. It is eye-opening to see your own numbers, your own mortgages, your own financial profile, essentially, on one of those papers. And at the top, it says your total debt and when you can be debt free. I don't think I'd ever seen those numbers put together in one place before. And it was an eye-opening experience. we immediately signed up we just said we cannot afford not to. And this is the thing, Don and I talk about this all the time. He's like, are you still talking to your friends about the P.I.L.L method? I say yes, but I just like he says every time we're live, he says he's looking for people who are interested in a better way, who are curious, who are seeking, who are saying to themselves, there's got to be more to this. Why am I paying so much and I'm not seeing the needle move? If you have that question in the back of your mind, that is the in my opinion, the litmus test. That's the entry way for people to get into this system, because this is going to answer those questions for you. I recently said to some friends, there is going to be some moves that my wife and I make in about 5 or 7 years that you're going to be wondering, how in the world are you doing that? And I'm going to point back to this moment when I told you about the P.I.L.L method. So you can do whatever you want. You can make whatever decision you want. You can say I'm a kook. You can say, yeah, you're investing in shadows and phantoms. I'm not trying to throw shade, Don. I just this is my time to speak. But you can say I'm investing in whatever. But I will tell you this: in about 5 to 7 years, I'm going to be making some different kinds of moves. I'm going to be making some different kinds of investments. We're going to be having different kinds of conversations because of the leverage that I will be able to have based on the P.I.L.L method. A lot of folks are in the investing space and they're not looking to pay off their mortgage, and that's great. But you will have more of your equity in your existing property or properties if you are using the P.I.L.L method to pay that thing down at a rapid rate. So that's been my experience. We are in the throes of it now. We've been on the program for, I think, about just over a year and a half at this point, coming up on 2 years later on this year. And we're already seeing the benefits. We share with people. We try not to be stingy with the information. We don't want folk to say, "Oh man, you didn't tell us anything about this." We don't want to get to that point where where the house is paid off and we're able to make different kinds of moves. And then people are asking, "How come you didn't say anything?" I mean, I had a whole family meeting, Don. I had all my siblings. I pulled them all aside. I said,
a whole family meeting.
Family meeting. We pulled them all aside. I said, "This is what we're doing. I want you to know about this. I don't want you to be jaded, to be caught off guard, because we wanted to make sure that they knew this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it." And definitely excited for the prospects and the outlooks, some of the opportunities that we will be able to take advantage of, because we've made this decision right here on the front end. It is a radical shift in thinking in terms of how we are managing our debt, and then looking at money. How can we utilize it in a way that is going to have generational impact for our families? And I think we don't talk about that enough, Don, in terms of generational impact. What are we leaving? Do we leave a bill? Are we leaving a legacy? Are we leaving inheritance? A lot of times we want to ask those questions at the end of life. No, you can ask that question now in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. What do you want to leave for your children? You get to decide what that is by making certain decisions at this stage. And so looking ahead, that's what my wife and I decided to do. We have our own opportunity cost calculator. Cheryl Wyndham was asking, how do I get one? We have ours. We got our savings and earnings report. He's actually putting the opportunity cost calculator on the screen. So I'm going to shut up here in a second. But I just wanted to kind of double click on some of the things that have already been shared, to say people may ask, what is the success then? You're at a stage where you haven't necessarily paid anything off yet. Well, we actually have. We have no more car notes. All we have is student loans and mortgage. So
you paid those cars off early.
We ended up being in a position to pay those cars off early. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. Now tell me that why are you doing that?
Yep.
Did it drain your bank account to pay them off early?
Don, the answer is no. And I want to answer by saying this. The pandemic kind of, hampered some of our movements, but this summer alone, my family and I went to South Africa. We went to Israel. We went to Zambia. We came back to the States. We went to Brazil, to Sao Paulo and Rio, and then came back to the States and then went to Jamaica. We did all that this summer. We did all that while still making extra payments. We are not eating beans and rice. No, we are not. We did and we are still on track with the P.I.L.L method. So I want to let you know, we are not living like paupers. We are, listen, all that God has for us, we intend to take advantage of, sir.
So you did all of that traveling.
Yes, sir.
Still paying off debt.
Yes, sir.
Growing your savings all at the same time. And you have a family of what?
Family of 4. My wife and I have 2 kids. That's correct.
Family of 4, and you did all that traveling, and you bought plane tickets.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
And did you stay in a hostel, or what? Where did you stay? Where did you stay?
No, we stayed in some really nice bed and breakfasts there in South Africa, in Cape Town, Johannesburg, Zambia. And if you know that part of the world, you know that those bed and breakfasts give you the best bang for your buck. I mean, it's just such a nice, rich experience. But I'm telling you, if someone were to tell me that you'd be able to have this kind of outlook with your money, I would have told them that you've got to be lying. But I am experiencing it. I'm living that reality right now. And I just want to encourage somebody out there who's hearing this story and they're saying, I would love for that to be me. I think there's got to be a level of intentionality. I think there's got to be a component of curiosity as well, to really ask yourself the question, why can't that be me? Why can't I pay off a $100,000 house? Why in 30 years? Why does it take me 30 years to pay that off? And it takes me 5 years or 6 years to pay off a $100,000 car. Why is that set up that way? If that question does not give you some kind of, cause you to scratch your head a little bit, causes you to think, squint your eyes and kind of go into your mind and say, why is that? If that doesn't hit you there, then probably this is not for you. But if
All right.
it does, I really think your next step is to go ahead and get that savings and earnings report.
Wow.
Sit
So
down
listen,
with
we got just a question here, Kurt.
Yeah.
And so this is for both you. This is for you and Pastor Chance. Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. So somebody in the chat says, "Are you blessed to have a double income?" This is for both of you. Are you blessed to have a double income? Is that what's doing it for you?
My wife and I are entrepreneurs. So I would say we're probably Don, you know what I'm getting. We're probably, I mean, have you ever seen an entire family that works for themselves? It is actually
No.
exactly. You would expect that we would be broke as a joke, but our kids are in private school. As I mentioned, both cars are paid off. Do we have a double income? We actually both work for Composition, which is the name of the company that we have started. I left full-time employment to join my wife in the company, and so do we have double income? I would say not exactly. No, it is a modest. I mean, we do okay. You know, they're good months. I mean, anybody that understands the entrepreneur's journey, you know that there isn't necessarily consistency in how that thing works. So I'll just leave it there. But we do have our good months. We are definitely blessed. You know, if they asked, are we blessed to have two incomes? I would say we are definitely blessed. Whether or not it equals out to two incomes, I don't know if I could answer that.
Well, let's talk about this, because you said that your income, because you're entrepreneurs, you're
Mhm.
not the
Yep,
income
yep.
isn't consistent.
I know where you're going.
How does that work in this program? Because most people think you got to have a certain amount of money every single month for it to work.
It is. I mean, I think Pastor Chance said it earlier. It recalculates. It recalculates. I think this is the thing with your, you know, I'm a spreadsheet guy. I'll just be honest. You know, I don't know how. I know Pastor Chance said earlier is like I don't like budgeting that, you know, that traditional way. That's me all day. I love spreadsheets. I love to be able to, you know, I've got a spreadsheet to end all spreadsheets, but I threw it away when I got my opportunity cost calculator, because my spreadsheet cannot recalculate. It doesn't account for, you know, needing a new transmission, or you know, having to repair some portion of the house because of water damage. It cannot account for those things. It just can't. And so, yeah, it deals with our fluctuations quite well, actually. In fact, I think that some of the reason why we are probably ahead of schedule is because of the fluctuations. As I mentioned, there are good months, there are, you know, decent months, and there are months that are dry, but it's all about what you do on those good months and how you are able to stack. I mean, that's the entrepreneur's journey. That's and probably another conversation for another time. But yes, I love the fact that the opportunity cost calculator recalculates and gives us a new path forward when we give it our current situation, our current scenario.
All right. Well, I'm going to throw it over to Pastor Chance. Pastor Chance. So the question to you: do you have a double income?
No, we have one income. My wife has been a stay-at-home mom for many years, pretty much for most of our marriage, actually. And so we've designed it like that. We want it like that. She homeschools, take care of the home front and everything like that. So I am on one salary, which is a regular pastor salary.
Well,
Which
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. You're not in a church system where you have like a mega church. You're in a church
no.
system
Far from.
where all the pastors are paid about the same, right?
Yes, kind of like the military. Yes, and we are not paid six figures, just to be clear.
Okay.
Far from. Far from. Now I do a little something on the side every now and then. Get a little influx from different sources, but that's also not, like as Kirk is saying.
Yeah.
And it doesn't rise to that level where we think we are making, like, big ballers, doctor salary and those kind of a thing. No. But even with that, as he said, which you give for the credence, it's not like you're doing the rice and beans. So
No.
I personally don't even like beans. But so I would know how I would be functioning on that system, which I've tried in the past. I've tried that system in the past before I know the pill method. For 7 years, I was on that system of, hey, all credit cards are the devil, and you don't use those type of things. And that helped to a degree. But when same thing, that's how also got reintroduced to you. When it came time to buy my house, I'm like, hold on. Hey, Mr. Chadwick, you don't have any credit, a credit score. I'm like, well, that should be good. That tells you I haven't been using credit for 7 years. That I've been doing it, the way others have said to do it. No credit, none of that stuff. I've been a cash guy all along. Well, Mr. Chan, you can't get qualified
You
because
see?
we don't have you in the system. I'm like, wow. And I called you up, Don. And I said, Don, what am I going to do? You said, bro, just go down there, get this credit card right now. Went down there, take out a loan. He said, and it was in for $1,000. My credit score jumped immediately. And that's again when I have, you know, went off the system, off the grid pretty much for 7 years because I didn't use any credit. So, in the credit bureaus, nothing showed up.
Mm.
And then I went up immediately to a 680 and was able to qualify for a first house that way from just those two actions that you told me to do. So it
Wow.
don't have to have a lot of income. You have to have something in the sense of to put some numbers there. But my thing, it works with you, and that's another good thing. Why instead of being skeptical about this program, there's another attractive point to me because it was not a one size fit
It's
all.
all,
The
yes.
tool is a one size fit all, but it's customized based on your situation. Your situation is not mine, and mine is not yours. So
Agreed.
it works with you, your salary, what you have left over, and it works with your stuff. Hence, as we can say, if you're on the program, you would not necessarily, you don't have to do the rice and beans things. If you want to do that, that's cool, but it really works with your situation.
I
Mhm.
got a question for both of you then. All right. So here's a situation where the program, you can see 3 months ahead. You can always see 3 months ahead. And the program, based on what you're doing, is telling you in 2 months, you're going to put a certain amount of money on a particular debt. All right. You've seen that, correct, gentlemen?
Absolutely.
Okay. So now something comes up where you had an unexpected expense. Okay. You had an unexpected expense and it was, listen, it wasn't earth shattering, but it was pretty doggone large, probably. Did the program get scared and say, we can't do that now? Or did it just recalculate and still put some money on the debt anyhow, even though you had a large expense? Did that ever happen to you guys?
Yes,
Yes.
more than once.
I was
Wow.
gonna,
Just
I was
this
gonna
month,
say
as a
the
matter of fact,
same.
for me.
I was gonna
Listen,
say the exact same answer, Pastor Chance, is that more than once, more than once. And these things come in a lot of different shapes and sizes, but life happens, guys. Life happens. And you want to have a financial instrument that's gonna be as flexible as life is, right? So to me, that's a major, major selling point. You put that number into the system, and the system lets you know how to be able to even pay for the bill. I mean, it'll tell you, well, you're going to need to move some money over from savings to be able to take care of this bill. And then we'll be able to kind of recalculate and get something on the debt here, either the same month or maybe just a month or so later. So I want to add this other piece, Don, if you give me a second here.
go
I
ahead. Go
want
ahead.
to say, one of the major things that that about the program is that it gives you insight and vision into your monthly finances, right? What is coming in, what is coming out. I think a lot of people have an assumption of what is coming in and what they can afford and how much they can save. And they don't realize that there is some latitude and some play room in their budget in terms of what they have coming in and what they are paying for. Especially as you start to really look at what you're paying for, you start to realize that you do have some opportunities around you. So I do want to say, somebody's asking, well, are you blessed to have two incomes? Not necessarily, but we do have an active savings exercise, meaning we do save money on a regular basis. And so if that is one thing that I will say, you if you're not if you're in the habit of just spending down to zero every month, not because the bills are that way, but because that's just how you've been acclimated, then it will be a slight shift or change in terms of what you want to do to be able to move forward with the program. The program is going to be looking for you to tell it what money you want to be able to spend on having a good time. Not just what your bills are, but what money do you want to spend to maintain a specific standard of living. Then what is left is what the program is going to work with to be able to take care of those debts.
So, Pastor Chance, do you have anything to add to that? Because I got another question for you guys.
Yeah, and just like what Kirk was saying too, if you want to save, I think this is a great opportunity too, because there's a section when you list preferences, you go there and you adjust the settings, and you can say, okay, I want to make sure that I save, let's say $10,000. And just the same way it works with paying down a debt or credit, I mean something like that, it will do the same to build up your savings. So you can say, okay, I want to make sure, because some people, for example, you want to have an emergency fund or something like that. So you can tell the program and you will see also in real time. And that shocked me the first time, because I was like, you think that it's so hard to save $10,000 or whatever the case is, right? Let's say a couple thousand to 10,000. And I'm like, man, this is going to take, because when you're paying down certain bills, right, you take months upon months to pay it down. But then I'm like, hold on, the thing says in 2-3 months you will be able to have this accumulated. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Another good feature, which I do sometimes too, is, for example, like I said, my wife has her vehicles that's already paid off. I just got a new car last year, and so with that, I would plug in, I play around sometime and say, okay, well, what if I buy this thing or need to do this? I can put it in the action plan to kind of see what the system will do.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, on my own natural way, I would have just paid off the car. So, for example, I would say, okay, I'm going to put in the car, whatever the balance is, and then let me see what it will do. And then it said, no, let's go ahead and pay on this other. I'm like, why would it do that? But that's exactly why we have this stuff. The AI system do all the computation that you probably wouldn't do. So, for example, I still have about 50 payments, for example, to make on the car. And I sometimes want to pay it off now, because I'm like, man, I can pay it off now if I want to. But then it's showing me that if I choose to do that, then, because again, the car is only 2 point something percent, and I leave this other bill, yes, it might look smaller, but I would actually end up paying more interest. And that's what you say. Some people don't think interest is, oh, it's phantom money. No, that's real money, because I would have to pay that interest. So it's better for me to follow the system, to be able to save the most amount of interest as possible. But here's a cool thing, Dan. Do you know that even if I did go ahead and pay the car off, that it would not move my payoff date like months into the future, maybe just 1 month or something like that. So it wouldn't be like adding years upon my stuff. It would just be like, hey, if you choose to do this now, even though this is not what the system is telling you to do, you know what? You still get the benefit, but here's the thing: you lose some interest, but you will still only just add 1 month extra to your payoff date versus years. So that's a good thing to know as well.
Wow, wow, wow. So I'm putting listen, folks, while they're talking, I'm actually putting some information in here on the program that I have up, which tells these people that they're going to be out of debt in 8 years. In 8 years, I'm putting in a car. They haven't spent the money on the car. I'm putting in a $30,000 car at 4% for 84 months. Let's see what it does to the 8 years. It says that they're going to be out of debt. We're going to put that in. We're going to save that. All right. And what did I do wrong? Okay, I did something wrong. All right. So what did I leave out? Must be. Okay. All right. I got the wrong statement date in there. Okay, hold on. All right. Let's see. and save. All right. I've got the wrong dates in. All right. I've got to put the right dates in. But so you can actually add to this and tell the program that I want to put some more money in here. But what I did do is I went into settings. I changed the preference from $4,000 in savings to 10,000. So let me put it back to about 5,000. All right, saving up about 5,000, and we can be out of debt in 7.8 years. 7.8 years. But if I change it, I want to save 10,000 instead. All right, we go to 8 years. What if I want to save 15,000 instead? I want to put 15,000 instead, so that we're at 8 years. It says now you're going to be paid off in 8.2 years. See, folks, when the problem with understanding our finances is that we don't know that the decisions made today, how they affect us long term. So I've got a question for you too. When you decided to go with the pill method, okay, was there anything in the back of your mind that says, you know what, I'm going to go with this, but I truly don't understand it fully? Is the program more robust than you ever thought about before you got on the system? All right. Is it better than it is? You said, well, Kurt, you were saying it's too good to be true. But when you got on the program, did it turn out to be better than you thought it was? Go ahead and talk.
Yeah. It's I think one of the things that unfortunately in today's society we are always looking for, the hack or the end run around, to do this one thing and it's gonna alleviate this other thing. I don't know. I think when I thought to myself it's too good to be true, I was thinking that there was some magic thing that the program was going to do or something like that was going to give me some advantage. But when you begin to understand all that Don has been sharing here, and Don's wife jokes with me all the time that I could probably teach the P.I.L.L method because I get a chance to see it from this perspective every day. But when you start to understand what Don teaches, you start to recognize that it's actually not magic, it's math. We just haven't understood the math. We just haven't taken advantage of the math. And what the system does, as Pastor Chance just said, it is artificial intelligence. It can calculate so many different opportunities, so many different ways to get a specific thing done and chart the best way forward, then that would have taken us years to do. So it isn't what I originally had in mind. And yes, in my opinion, it is better because it isn't magic. It is actually something that you can begin to comprehend, and you recognize what you're allowing the computers to do. They're doing the best thing that they can do. And then it allows us to be the ones to, make the payments, do the things. It doesn't go into your accounts and take over for you. I want to be clear on that. You tell the system what your budget looks like. You tell the system what our payments look like, and the system shares with you where you should go, how you should make your payments, how you should make your moves. So yes, I think it has completely exceeded our expectations in terms of what we originally thought and what it has been doing for us. Absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah, for me, I mean, of course I never saw the software, so I didn't know what to expect with the software. I was just pretty much sold with the idea from just watching, like most people are right now, which is, when I see you do the calculations over and over again, which when I got serious about it, I had to watch one presentation 3 times in a row, like back to back. Like I watched the whole thing, go back to the beginning, because I'm like, this is crazy because you've never really seen it like that. And that's why I'm saying I like this system in the sense of because the P.I.L.L method teaches you and you can see the actual numbers. Whereas, yeah, be debt free and so forth, but it's like, what does it mean? How much are you really saving? And my biggest shock was really seeing how much the banks and other people are making off of people. Like, I'm like, wow, are you telling me? Because and then the 5%, oh, the interest rate is only 2% or whatever, and then you're paying for the house almost 2-3 times. That right there was a wake up. So for me, and being in the faith-based space, Don, I said, this is wickedness. Like, this is evil. How can you make this much money and you telling folks, and we all sold? Because in our thinking, when they say 2% interest or 5, you're thinking just that, like that's all you're gonna make off of me. But then when the full mortgage comes out 30 years, it's like, hold on, I've almost paid for this house twice. We know instantly this really doesn't add up, but somehow we're still hanging on to the 2 to 5%. So that really was enough for me. And then when you give me, as like most people, this is how you start. When you get the free report, then I saw it on paper. This is how much I'm going to save. I'm like, this we have to do this. I don't know what the software is, but if this report is what it is, then whatever that software is, whatever that tool is, then I know it's going to work. And as Kirk says, listen, yeah, we have been more than blessed and impressed with the software. Again, as he said, which it would you would think, oh, it just it shows you all the numbers, but you are still in control. You can even skip, for example, like you said, if something comes up or it says to do this, and don't do that all the time now. But my thing is that I know I can skip something. Say, okay, you want to do this? Okay. Like even here on the screen, you have, for example, Visa finance charge. Well, I know this month there's not a Visa finance charge. I can just delete that. Or I allocated $50 extra for groceries, but this month we're not gonna have that. So therefore, you can just close out that because we're not gonna use that much this month or something like that. So all that flexibility, while it is robust mathematically, pretty much better than what we can conceive, you still have a level of control that puts you still really in the driver's seat. So I look at it more like co-driving versus it doing all the driving or me doing all the driving. I look at it like we both kind of driving together. So yeah, I'm blessed by the software. And family, at least do this. And now we don't want to be like here, we just, giving all the glow reports for the P.I.L.L method. But really, truly, I don't have anything else negative to say with it, really, because it just has been that helpful. But I will say this, listen, instead of looking at all the skeptical stuff, because my thing is, I've been blessed. I know it worked for me, Don. I know I've used the system to pay up even one of my church mortgage. We're about to go into another church mortgage soon. We're trying to for a new district area where we're in. We're looking at buying a new church. We just submitted for an LOI just on yesterday. So it works. The thing is, at least get the free report so you can see where you are. At minimum, you owe it to yourself to at least do that. Get the free savings report, look at your numbers for you, and then you can decide whether or not you want to move forward. Because if you don't do that, you're still going to be wondering and guessing and hoping. And it's like, because you really need to see the numbers. Numbers are facts and reality. Unless you see them, it's kind of just, you have things in your head there. But go ahead and do at least that.
Yeah, I would agree with
Thank you.
Chance. Just at a minimum, get yourself a savings and earnings report. And one of the things I only
We have somebody want to ask a question right quick. I just brought him to the stage. So Tom. Empress, did you come with a question or a comment?
No, I came with a testimony.
Come on with the testimony.
This is Aura Don.
Hi, Aura. How are you doing?
Good.
All right.
So
Aura, while you're speaking, we're going to put the information on the screen on how to get a savings and earnings report. Go ahead, Ms. Aura. Why are you coming to the stage to tell your testimony today?
Because my husband and I, we was surfing YouTube and we listened to one of your presentations one day, and we was like, as everybody else is, we had skepticism. I was like, okay, now how are we going to pay off these mortgage in 7 years or 2.5 years and that? So it didn't make sense to us. And so we looked at it again, 3 or 4 times. And then we called our mortgage company and requested our motorization schedule. And when I took a look at that, I was like, I have already paid them $159,000.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God. Like, so if I continue to pay them this way, I would have paid double for my house. Well, triple, because I would be paying what I owe them plus the 159 plus another maybe $159,000. I was like, oh my God. So I was like, okay, I can't do this. This makes no sense to me. So we called Don up. He gave us a very detailed, plain and simple how the system works and how we can pay off not 1, not 2, but 3 homes in 2.7 years.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Today,
Wait. What do you mean 3 homes? How's it that you got 3 homes?
because I have two investment homes,
Oh, okay. So
which are rental property,
so you got 2 rental properties plus your
my primary home.
primary home. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. And so, Don, you told us how to put it. We plugged it in the system. We got the system. We plugged everything in down to the credit cards that I had, what I owed on the credit cards. I put my 2 card notes on there. As of today, both cars are paid off. My New Jersey home rental property is paid off. And now the system is working on the other investment property that I had, which is everything is slated to be paid off in 2.7 years now. Originally it was 3.8 years, but as I started paying off, as the system was telling me, pay this off like this. Now it's down to 2. I've just looked at it today. It's 2.6 years, and I will have my primary home, my other rental property paid off, and I have no debt at all. None, 0. That to me is a huge savings. So now I have all this discretionary funding that I'm saying, okay, this money is just piling up in my bank account now. I'm like, what am I to do with this money? So now I'm
Wait a minute.
That's a good problem.
Wait a minute, Aura. So you're saying the problem you have now is what do I do with all this money?
My God.
Exactly. Absolutely. Because me and my husband was like, oh, wait a minute. We're going to be hitting $150,000. That's just discretionary, just money that we can just throw away. What can we do with that? What we going to invest? How we going to invest this money? Before we didn't have that problem. We was like, okay, we're going to pay this. We're going to pay this. We're going to pay this. Now it's like, what we do with all this money?
So,
now
wait, there's another question for you, Aura. Does the P.I.L.L. method have a solution for having too much money? Do we have a solution for that?
Oh, absolutely. Yesterday a couple of days ago, I called and I said, when I was speaking to the lady, and another thing, the P.I.L.L. method also had excellent customer service. And that's one of the things that I pride myself on. I hate to call when I have a problem and I got to get a voicemail or somebody call me back. Every single time I called the P.I.L.L. method customer service, I've always got a live person, and they was always extremely knowledgeable about the system and corrects my problem right there on the spot.
Wow.
So that right there in itself speaks volume about the system.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a quick break right here, because just in case some people need to jump off, or let's tell them how they can get their own savings report. That's right. Folks, go to ice10k.com. That's the link I have at the top if you're in Clubhouse, or you see it crawling across the screen if you're watching us on the internet, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. So go to ice10k.com. Click on the button that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. When you're getting that report, when you're putting your information in, make sure when you put your cell phone in, you are not putting any spaces in. No spaces, no dashes, no dots. We supply you with the +1. Put your phone number right up, your cell phone number right up against that one with no spaces, no dots, no dashes, and click on confirm. Once you click confirm, then we're going to send you a code. Take that code from your text message and then put it back into the website. And then you will be able to go forward and get to our financial form. Fill out the financial form with the questions that we ask, and someone will get back to you within 48 hours so that so that we can confirm your information and set up a consultation for you. Those are the basic steps. Once you do that, you will know the month, day, and year you'll be debt free and how much interest you will save.
Mm-hmm.
And your interest savings pays for your program. All right, Aura, go ahead and tell us the rest of your story.
I mean, I've been telling everybody about this program, and I think with most African American people, we have been scammed so many times with different programs that we try to get ahead in, that is the skepticism is there. But I'm here to say, and the reason why I came on here today is to share my testimony of how wonderful this program is. And if you're looking to get out of debt and have financial freedom, because you don't understand how financial freedom, what it is, until you have money just keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming, and you don't know what to do with it. That you have no bills to pay except for, I'm looking for the day that I have nothing to do but pay my taxes on my home, my homeowner's insurance, and that's it. That's it. No other bills to pay, but bills that I make.
So now,
and now that I know what financial freedom is, I will never go back to where I used to be, ever.
So now you are paying off some debt. And you're still paying off debt. You paid some things off already, but you're still paying off some other debt. But at the same time, did you get to talk to somebody else in our company about how to create wealth while you're getting out of debt?
I have set up an appointment to talk to the financial advisor to go over some things of how to and where I can invest my money now to continue to make a residual income coming in. So that way, my grandkids, which are 4 and 11, they will have a life to sustain them for their grandkids and great grandkids. Because it's about generational wealth for me.
Come on.
Exactly.
Oof,
Wow.
that's good. That is good.
Wow. So or how long have you been on the program? I mean, you've done all of this, paid off 2 cars and a mortgage. How long have you been on the program? 10 years?
Son, I think no, absolutely not. I think we joined the program. Let me see. This is 2023. I think we joined you in 2021.
Wait a minute. You've paid off a whole house and 2
A
cars
whole house. Yes,
in 2 years on this program.
that's correct.
Lord have mercy. Folks, if you're not getting your savings and earnings report, like these folks are saying, get your savings and earnings report today. And Aura, it was your phone call to me. It was your phone call to me that sparked this whole thing. Why did you get on your phone and call me just to give me an update about your situation? What caused that?
My bank account.
Mm, 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 mm.
My bank account, and the mere fact that my husband or I do not have a car note, and that my rental property in Jersey is clear and free. So every single penny of rent I get from that is all green.
So
That in itself.
have you heard anybody who kind of disagrees with the pill method or doesn't quite understand it, but and says it doesn't really work? Have you ever heard that?
I have heard people have skepticism about it. But once I tell them, listen here, let me just show you. I can't. I'm not making this up. Let me show you. And so I've showed a couple of my friends who have said, "Oh, You just can do that and go do that yourself. You don't have to pay to do that. You can do this. I'm like, but no, you can't, because what happens is you don't know when to pay which bill with the highest interest rates and how much to pay it and when you should pay it. You can arbitrarily just go in and say, okay, I'm going to give them extra money for this right here, but it's not the same principle and you won't get the same results. Maybe it may take you a little longer. I mean, I say longer, I mean 10 to 15 years, but who wants to continue to pay the bank that interest when you can have that interest in your own bank account? Not me.
So it is about the interest savings then. So when you're putting when the program says take this money and put it on this particular bill, whether it's a car note, whether it's a mortgage, does it tell you how much interest you're saving with that one move?
Absolutely. And the other beautiful thing about the program is I wanted to go in and see how much interest I would save if I didn't pay this off. You can even plug that in and play with that, because the system is telling you what to do and what moves to make, like chess. However, you can always go in, like for perfect example, I got an extra $25,000. So I went in the system and told the system I got an extra 25,000. I put that to the system, automatic generated that $25,000, put it in, and told me to pay off that Discover card. And I paid that Discover card off. Boom. And there it is. I don't have no longer had that bill. And now that saved me, I think it was $4,000 in interest.
And let me just jump in there as well, Don.
Go ahead.
Listen, Aura. If we could do a standing ovation, we would. Honestly, this is phenomenal. This is phenomenal information. I just want to share that somebody out there is going to say, but I don't have an extra $25K. Somebody's going to say that, and I'm telling you, the system can deal with an extra $25. The system can deal with an extra 25 cents. The system can tell you what to do if you just give it something to work with. And the reason why she has the extra 25K is because she followed the system when she didn't have those extra, larger extra payments to be able to make. So it's going to work with you at whatever stages you find yourself. Some people may be in a position like Aura where you're dealing with big numbers. You're like, well, can the system help me? Because this sounds like it's for broke folks. I'm telling you, it's from every gambit, every angle that you can find yourself. If you are in a position where what you can save per month is $100, the system can work with you. But if you're in a position where what you can save per month is $100,000, the system can work with you. I just want to make sure we interject that into the conversation. Continue.
But absolutely. But also, like with the system, way the system is set up, like I had when we set my system up, we had a fund for about movie money, dinner money, all that. But say for instance, I had like $150 for movies and dinner nights, or I had grocery. I had $400 a month for grocery. Well, if I only spent $200 a month that month for grocery, or didn't go to movies or to dinner, that $150 that I had allocated for that in the system, and when I execute that, that's a savings for me. So the system knows that I did not spend that $150 or only spent $200, not $400 on grocery. So that money is recalculated back into the system, so the system can use it other places. So that's like a savings for you. So it's just not the big money; it's the small money too. Absolutely.
So good. That is so good. That is an excellent way to explain that. That is so good.
You know what we call that? We call that gathering up the fragments, that nothing be lost. The program will gather up the fragments of those monies and then recalculate it. Says you can save this much interest with the leftover money from your fund budget, from your grocery budget, anything that's left over. The program says you can now eliminate this much interest, and it is phenomenal as to how much interest you could save along the way. So you start out at one point, which is amazing, But because of these small amounts of money that the program is going to pick up along the way, you're going to knock off another 1, 2, maybe 3 years with these small amounts of money that you don't spend, that you had planned to spend. How about that? So what other program does that? Is there anything else? See, listen, here's what you're hearing, folks. Here's what you're hearing, everybody. Not just, do you have to cut up your credit cards? Do you have to eat beans and rice every day? Do you have to drive a 30-year-old car? We have several people. We have 3 people that says, listen, I got a new car. Okay. You don't have to drive a 30-year-old car. You don't have to you stay home. I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. We can't have any fun. You're actually, or did I hear you right? You're actually put into the program how much money you and your husband just want to spend on you, just to enjoy yourself. Am I hearing that right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Don, I
And
forgot
we
to
have
mention.
taken
No, go ahead.
3 vacations this year. My husband and I have taken 3 vacations this year alone. So.
Okay, you go ahead, Kurt, because I got another question to ask. 3 vacations.
I was just going to say, I just forgot to mention that my wife and I recently, we on the program, we were able to do braces for our son.
What?
Braces? Yes.
I didn't know that.
And yeah, we added that thing in there, and it's paid for. His braces are off, and it's paid for. We're able to deal with that. You know, as they say, that was not an expected expense, but we were able to deal with those braces, and the you know, the entire amount of it, and had not, you know, we didn't have money saved or put aside, but the program helped us to figure that thing out. We put what the monthly amount was going to be, and it helped us to figure that thing out. So I'm saying, man, listen, it's a game changer. It's a game changer.
Wow. So, all right, you got to go on 3 vacations, paid off debt, and you still have plenty of money in the bank.
Absolutely.
That you're now looking to. Now you're looking to invest that as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't even explain or find a word to tell how excited I am. Because when you come from a place where you were, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, paying bills, doing the best you can, and to have to look at, I mean, I was literally going to my bank account every month just to look, see. I was like, oh my God, that's another $10,000 in there. Oh, wait a minute, how is this money coming in? Because of the P.I.L.L method. It's there, people. We just need to take advantage of it. And I am so glad that my husband and I took advantage of it, because it is a life changer. I mean, it's a game changer. I mean, my son, I mean, it's like, my son was like, Mom, he said, wait a minute. You see, you just bought that house in 2020. He said, and you paid that house off? Sure did.
Wow.
Sure did. And I'm working on the next 2 now.
So listen, listen. So you're doing all this. You're a real estate investor. We had a real estate investor on the show on Sunday that says what you're saying. This program doesn't work like that. The program is phantom savings. It really doesn't save you money. What words do you have for another real estate investor that may not see what you're seeing?
First of all, numbers don't lie. First of all, and interest, to me, interest saved is interest saved. You cannot dispute that. Well, I would rather not pay $100,000 in interest on a piece of property when I can say pay $30,000 and have the property paid off, and then I've saved that interest, which will allow me to take the interest saved and invest in another property. Just simple.
Okay. So listen, somebody says they got to get off. Listen, go ahead, call the office. All right. Says, I have I have to get off to go get ready for a funeral, but I am on the program, but not taking advantage. I have memory problems and forget a lot. I recommend a couple of folks who are, I don't know the rest of that. So here's what I want. I'm going to put the number 256-886 1867. We're putting that in the chat, okay? In the comment section. Call the office and we will get somebody to help you. All right, we'll get somebody to help you. And don't worry about it. There's plenty of support for you in coaching and in client support. And we make it very easy to find the client support number now in the new program. You just click in the lower right-hand corner, the headset, and all of your support information comes right up. And if you are the kind of person that needs to be shown what to do instead of being told what to do, just call client support and they will, you can give them access to your screen and they will actually show you how each move is made, not just tell you what to do, but show you what to do. And they will not leave you until everything is completed in updating your program. All the support you need is there, right? Am I telling the truth, folks?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely.
100%. 100%. I have no complaints with customer service. I think customer service is excellent.
And folks, that is what we strive to do, give excellent customer service. All right, it says, thank you. And yes, we all need this time to bless others. Time to bless others. In fact, time to bless others. Let's talk about that for just a second, Aura, before some folks jump off here. When you're blessing others, how would you like, so you're sharing this with other people. Go ahead, click on that same link, ice10k.com, and sign up to become an affiliate. When you sign up to become an affiliate, it's free and it takes about 15 seconds. Start sharing this information with others. And once you do, send them to the YouTube channel so they can watch the videos. Follow up with them within 48 hours. And then if they still want more information, go back to the same card, ice10k.com, and fill out where it says refer a friend. Put in all their information and your information as the one who's referred them. When they become a client, we will pay you. Okay. So we want to bless you for blessing others with this information. Become an affiliate today. Also, get my book. All right. This whole thing, if you read the book and watch the videos, you can learn a ton and go ahead and get started with this program. Get the book, watch the videos, get a savings and earnings report. I'm telling you, all of this information is out here. No one anywhere else has a book like this helping people to understand that the bank is overcharging and how you can cut the interest cost. We're going to show you that. Watch the videos, get a savings and earnings report, get with our customer service people and our coaches. You're going to transform your finances. So, Ms. Orr, I want to thank you for being here. R.L. Chance, I want to thank you for being here. And Kurt Nugent, thank you for being here today. So I want to give each of you a chance to give a final word here. Aura, what else do you have to say? And how would you tie a ribbon around what you're saying? What do you want? What do you want the people to know about how you're doing, how you're doing on the program, and what do you believe they should do?
I believe that if you care about generational wealth, your kids, your great grandkids, and your grandkids thereafter, the P.I.L.L method, you should invest. It's investment that you should absolutely, without a doubt, 100% will see the result for generations to come. That's
So,
what I would say.
Aura, does your program actually calculate how much interest you've saved so far?
Absolutely.
Do you have an idea of what that is? Can you tell the folks? Would you mind?
Thus far, thus far, I have saved $89,000 in interest.
What? One more time for the
Yes,
people in the back.
$89,000,
That's
which I
money.
was just going to give away because, yes, right, that would have been money that the bank would have had and I would not have had.
$89,000 so far, and you're still saving.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you very much for coming in, Aura. So, Pastor Chance, what do you have any final words for the folks? Because we're coming to the end of our show.
Yes, and I just pulled up my stuff too. Right now I've already saved over 62,000 in interest alone.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
And it says the rest, the potential, I can pay for a house with just that interest. Okay, so it works. What I would like to say, Don, since I'm in the faith-based community, I would like to speak to that community because we talk a lot about stewardship. I've been in ministry for almost 20 years now, and you know, we have done so many different stuff about finances for God's people. I would a lot of it is up in the sky kind of a thing, and we've done all of the stuff out there. Right? I myself like to say I've been a voracious follower, for example, of Dave Ramsey program. Not to compare, but I'm just saying even so I've tried all of that, and we have introduced those things as well with the church community. Nothing has come close to what you have done. I have lived on Dave Ramsey stuff, for example, like I said, 7 straight years I used absolutely no credit. I became so like all debt is a demon, that kind of way, just negative. And yes, I saw what that was, but at the same time, I told people even when I was doing that, I was debt free, but I had no money. I was debt free, but I had nothing to show for it. And then when I needed to make big moves, as in a house, I could not, even though I followed the program faithfully. So with this now, the P.I.L.L method, I can clearly see, even with that, it was just a belief. Like hopefully, but I didn't have any numbers to back up anything. Here I can see what my assets are currently. There's a section for that in the P.I.L.L method. I'm looking at it right now. I will know what my assets are. Then not only, oh, you're debt free, but then it shows you the potential wealth accumulation after you are debt free here. So now I know also, hey, in 10, 15 years, should I continue on this same thing, not only am I debt free, but here's how much I can save. So saying that to say, from a stewardship standpoint, is what my faith-based community understands. We have to ask ourselves, are we really being good stewards of the resources? Ministers, pastors who have churches, are you being a good steward by giving the bank millions of dollars of money that you don't have to, where you can help your congregation save at least six figures minimum, right? Because we have big mortgages. So if you can save your church six figures worth, how much more can you be a blessing to a community or even the very members who have sold into your ministry that you can now give back to them, etc. Expand your church, expand your ministry, build churches, schools, etc. overseas. You see, we got to think of it from that point. I don't think, now that I know what I know, it was I was the best steward that I could be when I was just letting a lot of money just leave the church to go give a bank who already got more money than the church. Okay. So I think that this is something we need to consider. And I implore you, at a bare minimum, again, please go ahead and get your free earnings and savings report so you can look at that and then make an educated decision. Don't just sit back and guess and so forth. You have three different people here today, but Don has been on this program days upon, weeks upon weeks, sharing and teaching. Go back and watch the videos and let the Spirit of God lead you into going forward with doing this. I personally, I'm satisfied. I'm more than blessed because of the program. You also own it for life. It's not like, oh, I have access to it for 2 months and so forth, or when one debt is paid off. You own this. So this is a proprietary system now that you have access to. If you're a business owner, I mean, this can actually be a tax deduction as well, right? It's an asset for your business. So go ahead and do yourself a blessing so you can be a blessing to others in the future. Thank you, Dan, for the opportunity, and thank you for teaching the people, even when everybody's not going to hear. Thank you for still showing up. Appreciate that.
I appreciate it. Pastor, listen, before you go, you've actually shared this with some of your friends who have taken you up on your suggestion. Um, how have they been doing? The ones that you recommend. Do you have any fear of recommending the program based on the feedback you've gotten from your friends?
No, it's like I don't know. It's like Kirk has said, when you want to share this stuff with your family and so forth, because it's like you don't want him to say, "Oh, well, you kind of had this this tool and you didn't tell nobody." So yeah, I same thing. I share with people and let the chips fall where they may. Yes, Don. Both in my former district when I was living in McAllen, we did a program with you where you came on. You did a virtual thing. People were able to see it. Here, actually, my new district, I'm now in San Antonio. We had you, a matter of fact, a few months ago. And I told you, for example, we had physicians, nurse practitioners, we had a lot of well to do and educated people attend that stuff. And every last one of them said they've never heard anything like this. And these are people who are well established in the world and are at the top of their game. And they all say they have never heard or seen it like you have presented it. So, yes, I have friends who are physicians who have gotten on the program. And one of them, right? Um, him and his wife alone, they have over $1 million worth of debt, right? But on this program, they're still doing it in the time frame that you have allocated. We have one family here that we know that is on the program. And yesterday, Don, I just went to bless a house. We have a young African family that they just bought a very nice house, 1 point something acres. The house is valued at almost $1 million. And I told him already, I said, hey, I'm blessing your house today, but I'm coming on Sunday because I need you to sit down. He's a truck driver, so he doesn't have a lot of time. He just kind of is here sporadically. But his goal is also, he said, hey, I said, brother, you just bought this house, 5-bedroom house, really immaculate house. I say, how are you going to enjoy if you're going on the road all the time? So I told him, I said, listen, on Sunday, we're going to sit down. I want you to see this thing here because I want you now, especially in the beginning, front end of your mortgage, you got to use this system. So I'm going to sit with them on Sunday. And then, of course, I will give them access. But, sitting down to explain to him the benefits and the blessings could be something. So that is another way I think we are being a blessing, because if they are able to use this done and pay off for their house in the next 5-7 years, what can they do? They just have a brand new baby. Imagine their child, by the time the child is 7 years old, he's not 1 year yet. They have a brand new baby. They will be setting their kid up for success.
Yes,
And
sir.
so that's the power of this, and generational wealth indeed can be his heritage there. So yeah.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you. Kurt, listen, man, we got 5 minutes left. We want to wrap this up.
Yep.
Go ahead and give us your last bit, and then I will give a call to action and we'll close it out.
Listen, I'm big on self-identification, man. Yeah, Don knows this. I feel like people will put themselves in the categories that they need to be in. And so the question I just want to leave with everybody is, what category do you want to be in? Do you want to be in the category of people who decided, I really don't have much to lose here. I can decide to pay the bank at the rate that they want me to pay it, at the amount of interest they want me to pay, or I can, some may even say, take a chance and try out the P.I.L.L method, at least get a savings and earnings report, and at least take a look at what the difference would be in terms of paying off your mortgage or acquiring that equity at record time. You get to identify which group you want to be in. You get to identify, is this an opportunity you want to take advantage of? Or do you want to step back from the table and say, you know what, that's too much risk for me right now? I am here to tell you that my family and I decided we're going to make the decision. We're going to move forward. And as you've heard from multiple people today, the blessings are real, and it is not magic. It is not some hack. It is not some secret thing that the people have put together. He's leveraging the power of artificial intelligence. He's leveraging this opportunity cost calculator, using the principles of the P.I.L.L method to be able to put everything together for us, allow you to have insight and perspective on your finances. One of the things I said to my son the other day is you have to have all the information to make the best decision. And what I realized before having the P.I.L.L method is that I actually didn't have all the information. And that's really where a lot of you sit right now as you're trying to decide, should I do this? Should I not? It's a no-brainer to get the savings and earnings report. To me, that's not a decision. The decision is whether or not you want to go on the program. But at a minimum, you should get the savings and earnings report, because you will be at least able to make decisions based on all the information that is available to you. And that's what I want to say today. Don, I just also want to just land on saying thank you for being willing. You could have kept this to yourself. Could have utilized this system to just kind of buy multiple houses and become this real estate mogul. You could have done all of that, but you decided that the calling of your life that God has placed on you is to share this information and to bring light to the darkness that we are in financially. And I just want to say thank you for your discipline, for your commitment, for your dedication to making sure that we all have this information.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Aura. Thank you, Pastor Chance. Thank you, Kurt Nugent. And don't forget to click on ice10k.com, get your savings and earnings report, get the book, and become an affiliate. The last thing we want to hear from is Dr. Eric Thomas and how he's done on the program. And I'll say goodbye to everyone. We will see you on Sunday.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.